Hi, I'm Eric Farewell.
And I'm Travis Burns.
We run a paramotor school here in Central Florida and the Paradigm Aerobatic team.
And we love all things aviation.
This is AviatorShow.
Pressure, just a touch. Hold it, more, all the way down, run. Oh, you slipped. You all right? Woo! Kick ass,
awesome.
Man, well done. Well done. Nice flying. That's no fun at all, is it?
Oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Well done.
I literally just ran into the sky. I ran into the sky.
My name is Eric Sheridan. I'm 42 years old from Kansas City, Missouri.
My name's Alan Young from Atlanta, Georgia, originally Virginia, but I've been in Atlanta for about 5 years.
My name is Ed Pendyke, and I'm from upstate New York.
My name's Bo. I'm 50 years old. I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, living in Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, my name is Rodney. I work for Hertz Car Sales. I'm a manager for the dealership I work at.
I'm an IT professional specializing in databases.
Professionally, I've founded several companies that I've been the CEO of and helped grow.
I'm an attorney and a business manager. I've had an interest in flying ever since I was a kid.
No real background in flying. Just ever since I was a kid, I wanted to. Was told at a very, very young age that I couldn't, just because of how bad my eyesight is.
I've been interested in aviation since I was a kid growing up next to an Air Force base. And I've always wanted to fly, just didn't have the means, also didn't have the proper vision to fly in the Air Force at least.
So I did some research online and found a lot of different sites, a lot of different people, a lot of different schools that taught paramotoring.
I learned about paramotoring about 3 weeks ago when Bo Durham, who's in our class, said, hey, I'm going to this course. There's a slot open, do you want to go? Wasn't quite sure what it was. He gave me the 30-second recap and said, sure.
You know, Aviator was plugged several times, so looked up their website and then really started to pick up an interest in it.
Actually coming here was nothing like anything you could see online or read about in a book. It exceeded my expectations as far as all the different topics we would cover, what we would learn as far as weather, airspace, maintenance, you know, all that general stuff that I honestly didn't think about.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was in the military for 5 years, went through a lot of intense courses, both on the classroom side and going out and executing, and I was shocked mainly by the ground school aspect. Not only was it long, but it was very intense.
I mean, we were doing 12-hour days. It was insane. We'd go out and kite in the morning, we'd come back into ground school, and we'd do ground school all day and then go back out in the evening and do you know, more work in the field. So it was a lot of work.
You know, having gone through a few graduate degrees, the intensity of this program was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, 6 days, highly intensive training, and again, building on each other, weaving a lot of themes throughout the entire training process. It's absolutely worth it.
Everything is so confusing when you first start this. I mean, you know, you're looking at all these lines and they just look like a tangle of wires that you're never going to figure out.
I went to airborne school, I've done skydiving, so I had that experience to draw on. It's not too dissimilar, so I've done some kiteboarding, so that process is pretty similar, especially when you're reverse kiting.
So the very first day was a little, you know, somewhat chaotic because I had never put my hands on a wing and a paraglider. I'd never seen, you know, the motor and the equipment up close and personal. So the first day we're laying out and we're really kind of thrown into it right out of the gate. And here's the risers and here's clipping in, and you're kind of lost. You're very lost the first day, but you kind of got to rely on the course and building up to a knowledge base that allows you to ultimately run into the sky. So the very first day, I was somewhat overwhelmed.
It's not a surprise to me that a lot of the instructors here, people getting the sport, are former military, because not only are you getting to fly and all the aspects of that, but the camaraderie of the community is very strong.
Sometimes you take courses like this and the guys are real kind of, you know, not what you'd want to spend a week with. But these guys, we came in as strangers and we're leaving as brothers. It's been great, you know, 5 guys I didn't know, and now, you know, I feel really close to them.
You're able to learn from each other and bounce these ideas, and the learning process is amplified.
It is also good to watch somebody else go through something, make a mistake, and then you can learn from their mistakes.
I made mistake after mistake. I could not kite this wing to save my life, but they just focused on the main things that I did right, told me what I needed to improve on, and by the second day I was kiting fine. So it's really encouraging.
You'll try and try and try, and you're pulling left, pulling right, and the wing just does not want to stay up, and you're like, what am I doing wrong? They're constantly coaching you on what to do, and then eventually, I can't even explain it. It just clicks. It's just something you pull it up, comes up perfect, and all of a sudden it starts to lean, and instinctively you pull the way you need it to go, and it just stays, and you just get this huge smile on your face, like, yeah, I did it. It's great.
The motor simulation is really fundamental from my perspective on getting to the stage where you're comfortable launching yourself into the air. So the motor simulation walks you through the entire first flight. I mean, walks you right through it.
So you're hanging just like you would in a harness up in the air, and they start the engine, you go through your process, you listen to your instructor through the radio that you're wearing, and he goes through the entire process of your first flight.
You just get a feel for, one, just being off the ground and having all that equipment on you. And then you go through the whole process of, the left turns, right turns. Before they even turn it on, they're just getting used to, leans and all that good stuff. And then they turn it on so you can actually feel the vibration. You know it's there. And then they let you play with the throttle a little bit to feel that thing at full power, and how even in the simulator, it pushes you extremely hard.
Getting a feel for the motor, I thought that was really good, and how to, learning how to treat it like a throttle on anything. I do a lot of boating, and every boat's a little different, and you have to get used to the sensitivity, so that was helpful.
It is close to the real thing, other than you're hanging from a simulator. And getting that preparation and that mental preparedness really, that allows you to get to the stage where you can stand on the field and actually walk through that launch sequence and walk through your first flight. So to me, that's a critical component of successfully getting there in a very efficient manner.
During our tows, I thought due to my kiting experience beforehand, I thought I understood when to release my A's, how to handle the wing once it was flying. After the first tow, that was quickly apparent that I didn't know. What really helped is the fact that I had to be a robot. I only listened to the instructor, did exactly what he told me when he told me, and that really helped a lot. So guiding you through, taking your time, listening to the instructors really helps.
I thought it was great. I felt very relaxed in my element. Having, just being pulled or even pushed, it's the motor that really is a challenge for me.
You clip in and you walk through the process and the steps we've learned, and off you go. And so, I mean, it was exhilarating. So our first time clipping in and getting towed and up into the air you go. And I loved it, absolutely loved it.
All that you've learned, it seemed like we've been here for 2 or 3 weeks in those 4 or 5 days.
First solo flight was awesome. Eric just got in front of me, and he's just like, you got this, you got this. And I'll say through the whole thing, he's got just a very calm voice, very soothing, keeps you relaxed. He's like, you got this, you can do this. Deep breaths, take off when you're ready, And then when you just take as long as you want, your deep breaths, and then when you launch and go up, he's constantly in your ear. Pull left, go left, just to make sure that kite's above your head. And then he says, power, 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 and you just take off, and then you're in the air, and you're just like looking around going, this is happening, this is happening.
Excellent, you may find your seat, so that right brake. Beautiful launch, best of the day. That was awesome. Wait, pressure. Run forward, run forward, and turn around and kite the glider. That was awesome. Big brakes, big right hand all the way down. Yeah, that was fabulous. So proud of you, man. How'd that feel?
Oh my God, that was awesome.
That was a big challenge for me, taking off, remembering the kiting, putting all that together was a challenge, and it wasn't until I had 5 failed attempts to get up. None of them were horrible, but the kite went off, or different things happened. I would pull down the throttle too much, cut the engine out. So the 6th one I got off, the height thing didn't bother me at all. I have a massive fear of heights, but like a lot of people, this is not a height fear thing. It's not the same as looking over a building. because you're up in the air, you've got something on that's holding you up there and that you can control. So I like getting up there and gliding down, and it was a lot of fun.
Pretty rough time with my first flights. I had a butt landing, I broke a prop. You know, it was really tough for me because I was trying to think of all these, the process that we had to go through, the steps, and I was running them through my mind, and the teachers are just saying, just relax, just calm down. And when I finally did that, when I finally listened to the teachers and just emptied my mind and relaxed, I actually flew. So it's a hard thing to do, to kind of relinquish that control to the teachers, but it's really an essential thing.
The motor is loud, obviously, so having somebody talking you through everything helps keep you, first of all, helps keep you calm and helps keep you safe, and it helps you also recognize any mistakes you might be making in the moment and how to quickly and safely fix those mistakes.
Yeah! Hang on, switch. Hang on, sit back, sit back. What do you think, buddy? That was awesome. Little chaotic approach. Here, give me a big victory pose. Give me a grin. Ah! Awesome. Awesome work.
You launch yourself into the air and you walk through the same thing you did in the simulation. You walk through that first flight and circle the field, you come in and you land, and it's exhilarating. It is absolutely exhilarating, and high fives all the way around. It's quite a moment. I mean, it's quite a moment. Your first solo flight, you've dreamed about it since you're a little kid, and it's reality. But it still almost feels like a dream.
So the first flight, it's very nervous, very nerve-wracking. You don't know what to expect. And as a person who is afraid of heights, naturally, once you're up in the air, it didn't affect me at all in the slightest. So it was actually really fun.
It's really hard to describe until you do it. But you dream about flying, or a lot of us dream about flying, and if you do, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience to take this little machine, portable machine, and launch yourself into the sky and run around the sky and turn a 2D world into a 3D world. I mean, it's really magnificent.
Once I get enough flights in and I'm back home on my own flying around, yeah, I want to just fly around, look at everything, just see the Earth from a different perspective, see the city that I grew up in from a different perspective, hopefully get my friends and family interested in the sport as well, to have somebody to fly with. I think that's really the ultimate experience right there.
Well, they told us coming in that our lives would change after this, and they're absolutely right. This is something that's going to be with me for a very long time. I'm going to be flying a lot, I think, and hopefully with the guys that we learned with down here. And it's just a great community, and it's a great sport, and I can't wait to continue it.
Smooth, a little faster, a little faster, a little faster, more speed, move faster, slide left a step, come toward John, John will move, keep moving toward me, release the A's, touch of pressure, power a bit, lean back, power more, lean back, don't sit, more power, full power, don't sit, full power, pressure, hands up low, beautiful, keep it full power, excellent, you may find your seat, so that right brake, beautiful launch, best of the day, that was awesome!